I wrote my book in 3 weeks and it hit Amazon bestseller within 20 minutes of hitting publish. Today, I want to share with you the journey of writing my book. And I want to share with you specifically some tips on why writing this book, and actually both of my books, super fast, was the secret sauce to my success. So, first, I want to start with just sharing the benefits of writing these books and why you might want to consider writing a book, especially if it's on your heart and it's a desire of yours, but maybe you're nervous about what's it like and how long it's going to take and is it even worth it. Okay, so in 2016, when I became a life coach, I wrote this book, and the purpose of this book really wasn't to sell it at that time. It was just me documenting my journey up until that point of how I opened my heart up to receive love, how I, healed my autoimmune disease, how I found peace in my life after overcoming a ton of trauma and grief and things like that. So the point of this book was to just document it for my daughter, who was 2 years old at the time, so that in case she ever wanted to know that part of my history and my journey, she had that. And so I did have a small YouTube audience on my main channel at that time. And I think I mentioned the book a couple of times and people bought it, they loved it, but it wasn't really the purpose. And I wrote this book in 1 week. Then in 2023, a lot of people kept asking me to write a book, and I forgot that I had this book. Honestly, I wasn't even like, "Hey, I have a book. Go buy this book." I just forgot I had this book, and I kept making excuses and almost like getting frustrated when people would say you should write a book. I don't know why. But I had over 100 courses, but I was like, just something was coming up. Well, anyways, I was in US Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, teaching a in-person intensive. And my family was there with me, and we extended our trip so that we can really just enjoy St. Thomas after my event. So 2 days after my event, I'm sitting on the beach and I get this nudge, this internal nudge to pick up my phone. I pick up my phone and I have this nudge to open my notes app. I open my notes app and I have all these words just flowing out of me, and I started just typing. And within like an hour or so, the time was just moving so weirdly. I had what appeared to be 2 chapters of this book. So I leave St. Thomas, come back home with 2 chapters, and every day I'm waking up at like 4 a.m. I am not an early riser, and I'm just like typing away. And so within 3 weeks, I had this book. And I should also mention that I took a week off of this book to go back and republish a second edition of this book, because as I was writing this book, I realized that it would be helpful if they actually flowed together instead of just like notes for my daughter, if it was like an actual series of books that people can read to learn about my journey, all the healing and all the stuff that I've done. And so within 3 weeks, I had this book written. Well, after that, it went into editing, and that took about, I think, 3 or 4 weeks, and then, formatting. And so within, I think, 2.5 months, we went from, well, here's the dates. I started typing this in mid-July on the beach in St. Thomas, and 11/11 that same year it published. And within 20 minutes, it hit bestseller in multiple categories. The way Amazon works is that every hour they check the status, and then you get bestseller if you are the bestseller, but then you also lose your status if someone else beats you. So it's updated every hour. So it's not like you get to keep the title, but for weeks I had the title of bestseller, beating the Bible, The Secret. Like, it was just insane. So, what are the benefits of writing a book? Let's talk about the benefits, and then I'll tell you why I think you should do this fast, okay? The benefits of writing this book, well, here's the thing. When I was in junior high, I won it was called the Young Authors Award for like my entire state. And I had several teachers and even professors later on at university that said, Mina, you need to write a book. Like, you need to absolutely write a book. So this desire of mine to write a book was something that was kind of like there for a while in the back of my mind, even though I didn't really see myself as someone that would write a book or who would want to even read my book. Like, I never could see that, but I knew that there were people out there, my teachers and professors, that saw me as someone that could write a book. So it was a desire of mine. And so that is one of the benefits, that you're fulfilling a deep desire. And so I don't think you should write a book because you should write a book. But if this is your desire, you should definitely do it. I feel so fulfilled having not only one book, but multiple books. I also have a couple of journals that I sell that go with these books. And I just feel so happy and like fulfilled that I finally like did the thing, you know? So that I would say is a number one benefit. A second benefit of writing these books is that as a life coach, these are my calling card. I feel like when people hear that I'm an author, that I have published actual books that thousands, tens of thousands of people have bought, there's just a certain level of like expertise and authority that comes with that. And so I don't know. Not saying that you need that, but I do think that as a life coach, it has become sort of a calling card, and it just like puts you on the map as like an expert in your field. So that's another thing that I believe is a benefit of writing books. A third benefit I would say is that people that come across my work, they go and like buy the book, and it's like a low investment way to find out my journey and my story and my style without investing in, you know, my high-end services and courses. So it's a low investment way to see, hey, do I vibe with her? Do I, you know, do I have the same personal values? Like they can hear my story, they can see the things that I've overcome, they can hear my personal values in the stories in my books. And I do think it becomes like easier than like repeating my story in every video. And so when people are curious that, hey, how did you go from that girl to this girl? Then it's like, okay, well, they can go buy my book and for a low investment find out. So that's another thing that I think is a benefit to that. A fourth one is that when my family and friends tell me that they're so proud of me and they feel proud that, you know, that I'm an author, and they tell all their family and friends about my books, like that makes me feel some kind of way. I really like it, and I just feel really blessed to be in a position that I was able to write these books. So those are my benefits that I would say. Why do I advocate speed so much? Okay. So here's the thing, I have been a super impatient soul since the day that I came into this world. Like my family, my parents, especially, they're both deceased now, but they would tell me stories about how I was just so impatient, impulsive, fast moving. And I grew up thinking that this was kind of a bad thing, that I was supposed to slow down and like, you know, think things through and make better decisions. But honestly, you know, being 44 years old and having success in basically every area of my life, I feel so blessed. I believe that being impatient, moving fast, and being impulsive is a big secret to my success. Now, I'm not saying everyone should move fast or that everyone should move at my speed. If you like moving slower, you should definitely move slower. Like, speed is not for everyone. I am just naturally a fast person. I think really fast. My nervous system works really fast. I feel alive when I'm moving fast. I love creating massive momentum in my life, and I've been heavily rewarded for that. Like, for those of you guys that don't know my story, like my husband proposed to me in 2 weeks, and we got married in 2 months, and we've been married for 16 and a half years, and our love just keeps getting stronger and more vibrant and more robust. Okay. I launched my business, both of my businesses, at rocket speed, went all in, like literally trailblaze through, like at the speed of light. Like I'm a rocket. Okay, I'm designed to be a rocket. And the only times in my life that I felt truly unhappy or truly like lethargic and burnt out was when I wasn't moving fast. So I think that people that are slow naturally and they try to go fast, they feel burnout. People that are naturally fast like us, when we try to go slow, we feel burnt out, because it's like you're asking a rocket to act like a horse and buggy carriage, right? Like it just doesn't, it's not designed for that. So for me personally, if I try to write these books slow, the same thing that happens when I try to read books slow would happen. I read about currently 20 to 30 books a month. Since I was 7, I've been reading on average 10 to 15 books a month. Anytime I read slowly, I forget what I'm reading. I don't know why my brain is like that, but I'm just that way. So if I'm reading slowly, if I'm taking my time, by the time I'm on chapter fifth, I'm like, what were we reading? What is this book about? And I almost have to like go back and start all over again. So I know that the same thing would happen because in university, I used to do the same thing when I would have these massive like writing projects due, like big projects, big essays. If I like started early and I had a lot of time to do it and I was trying to like pace myself and go slow, I would forget what I was writing and I would like keep changing the topic and I would be all over the place. But if I waited until the 11th hour, I know. But if I waited until like, let's say the essay is due tomorrow morning and it's like 11 p.m. at night, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna write this now. I would like blaze through it. Like I would come alive. I would blaze through it and it would literally be perfection. And like the professors would end up using me as an example of like, look, like Mina wrote this perfect essay and she probably took the whole 3 months that she had. And I would be like, mm-hmm, yep, yep, exactly what she said, right? But I just work really well with speed. And that way I just do it. Okay. So here's my tips. A lot of people, when they're writing a book or an essay, they like try to edit or improve as they're going along. I don't work that way. Okay, I don't work that way with the 130 courses that I've made. I don't work that way with the over 2,000 videos that I've created on YouTube and all the social media platforms. I don't work that way with my books. Instead of like trying to get it perfect as you're going, I just like mind a dump. I just like just like just like get it out of me. I just like get the thing out of me on video or on paper. And then when it's complete, like the first draft is done, then I can go back. Well, with videos, I don't even honestly do that. I most of my YouTube career has been live streams. Once it's out, I said the thing, I did the thing, it is what it is. But with my courses and with my books, I'm like, okay, the first draft is out. Now I can go back and I can add things to it. I can edit it. I can improve it. And that way, when the download first comes in, when I'm most creative, when I'm most in that like quantum field, like energy of it, I just attack it. I just like literally just like get it out there. So that would be the first thing I would say to writing a book fast. I've seen people over the years like that like spend a year getting to like chapter 5 only to ditch the whole thing, because in a year I grow so fast. Like a year for me is like 10 lifetime times. I wouldn't even be the same person in a year that started writing that book. I change so fast, my identity, my like the things that I'm learning, the things that I'm interested in. So like I can't trust myself to be writing the same thing now that I started a year ago. So the best thing I can do is just do the thing really, really fast. The other thing I want to say is that after creating 130 courses and writing these books, I've learned a very important lesson about myself. And this is something that comes up quite a bit in my high level mentorships like Kainat, is that people like us that are fast moving, fast growing, fast evolving, by the time we already create something, we've outgrown it. Because the act of teaching the course or the group coaching container or writing the book already transforms us, it already changes us. And because of that, our standards change. So the minute that we are done teaching something or writing the book, there's a level of like discontentment with it. And this has been really hard. This has been hard to deal with because the minute I would create the course, I would already be beyond it. I would already be like, okay, don't love it anymore. But here's what I've learned: other people are on a different journey and they still love my courses. Like over the years, I've literally had my students and clients like sometimes even yell at me saying, Mina, stop like tampering with this, stop trying to take it away from us, stop trying to improve on it, like just leave it as it is, it's so perfect. And that has taught me a very important lesson, that what I think I've already grown, someone else already needs. Okay. So if I took a year to create a book, I would be so unhappy with it because a year's worth of growth would be so much more delta than like just like I did it in 3 weeks. Already I'm like, oh, I could have done better, but like someone else already needs this. So like just get it out there. And how I remedied this with my books is that I'm like, for this one, for example, this is from 2016. And then I like did a second edition in 2023, and then this is the next one, and then I get to write a next one. Like I just can continue the journey instead of feeling like, oh, that wasn't my best work. It's never going to be my best work if I evolve at the speed that I do, right? It's never going to be my best work. My best work is yet to come, but for someone else this is still gold. So just write the damn thing, write the first draft, edit it, and then just get it out there. Like you are not a good judge of your own work. Yes, I said it. You are not a good judge of your own work. Just get the thing out there to someone else that will be gold. Someone else needs to hear that exact message in that exact form. Okay. With my courses, what I do is something that I'm doing a lot this year as well is I go back and I add things. So, for example, I have a course called Conscious Couture Coach. It's my coaching intensive. And this year, I had this download that I need to update it. I created that course many years ago. It's a cult favorite. My students love it. And I have more mastery in coaching now, right? I have more depth to my embodiment and technique and just so much more. And so instead of saying, oh, that course sucks, no, it's perfect for where I was at that time. And people still need that because not everyone has 9 years of coaching experience with tens of thousands of students, right? And hundreds of thousands of followers worldwide. They still need to hear those things. So instead of taking that away, I emailed all my previous students saying, hey, guess what? If you bought this course at any time, join me again on, I think it's March 12th. We're doing a 4 hour new intensive in there, and I'm adding more to this course. So that's another way that you can remedy. Instead of seeing your work as like, oh, it's not my best, add to it later, but just get it out there now. Okay. Trust me, someone needs to hear that exact message. What else do I want to say? Okay, here's what I want to say. Speed and impatience is your superpower. If God created you to go fast, if God created you to be impatient, there's gold there. Okay. I know we talk about how, patience is a virtue and all those things. Here's the thing, for 90% of the population, they need patience. 90% of the population are designed to go slow. I talk about this. This is like an actual genetic thing in my frequency of certainty masterclass, which is currently for a $22 cover charge. If you want to learn why you are different, why you are a part of the 10%, why you are so impatient, why you're so fast moving, why you want to just do things really quickly, why you're multi passionate, multi talented, why you seem like an oddball and people think you're so impulsive and so all over the place, it's because you are different. You are coded differently. So I'm going to leave that in the pin to the chat downstairs, in the comment downstairs, pin to the comments and in the description box if you want to learn why. But don't fight this. Like, I can't tell you how long I try to like go slow and be patient, and it would drive me absolutely bananas. Okay. Like crazy. And with the over $1 million that I've spent on my education and inner work, if that thing was a flaw, I would have inner worked it out already, like I did with a lot of the other conditioning that I had. The things that wasn't me fell away. These things got stronger. Okay. My impatience got stronger. My need for speed and high velocity got stronger. Okay. In fact, I'm actually teaching a course in March called High Velocity Momentum and Speed, because for women, men and women like us, you need to go at the speed that you were designed to go at. Okay. You are a bullet train, you are a rocket. Telling a rocket that you're supposed to crawl, oh my God, that is so messed up. That is so messed up. Like, you're going to think something is wrong with you if you are designed to be a bullet train or a rocket, and I keep telling you to crawl like a baby or go at a snail's speed. Like, you would literally break because that's not how you were designed. Okay. So Embrace that speed. Okay. The final thing I want to say is that people and money, people, money, clients, success, opportunities are magnetically attracted to forward moving, fast momentum. Like there is like a physics to this, okay? There's like a magnetism to this. I'm telling you, there's electricity there. I have seen that when I'm going at full speed, when I'm going full force, there's so much momentum that is created, and people are just magnetically attracted towards that. Opportunities come to me, clients come to me, money comes to me. There's just this attraction that people feel towards momentum. Okay. And you might be saying, well, it's because you already have momentum. It's not about the momentum, it's the energy that is running towards you, like that's coursing through you. It's who you become when you're creating momentum that creates this electromagnetic field. I'm telling you, like money loves speed and momentum. God loves speed and momentum. I feel like literally God sitting up there going, give it to the fast ones. Like all the downloads, give it to the fast ones. It's gonna get done fast. Like we are the rock stars, the innovators, the rebels, the visionaries, the trailblazers. We're the ones that create worlds, okay? We have an entire multiverse happening in our mind that is created and comes alive when we move fast. So please do not let anyone tell you that you are wrong for going fast, for that you are wrong for being impatient. All of those things are your superpower. Okay, so I'm editing this a little later in my pajamas, and I wanted to add a couple of things. So, with my first book, Contained in Love, I wrote it in 1 week. My husband helped me edit it, and we got it published and released in 2 weeks total. So, from the minute I started writing it to publication, 2 weeks total time max with doing the cover ourselves, everything. With the second book, with Lady Balls, the reason that it actually took me from, starting to write it in July, mid-July, I think it was July 12th to be exact, to the 11/11 launch date is because this time I involved other people. Someone else did my cover, we had two different editors. We had hired someone else to do the formatting, someone else to do the audiobook. And that's the thing. This is something you're going to have to learn to balance when you are a fast moving person like me, is that the reason it took, what was it, like 3 or 4 months to actually publish it, is because anytime I hand things over to other people, even though they're very fast and I often pay for the fast package, the speed package, but when you involve other people, the speed will change. And I've had to learn to come to terms with that. I'm always having to learn to balance speed versus involving other people. Like, obviously, as an eight-figure entrepreneur, I can't do everything by myself. I have a team and I keep a very lean team for this reason. And there's oftentimes things that my team will take 2 weeks to do and I can get it done in 10 minutes and I will just do it. Okay. I will just do it because it will drive me crazy if I have to wait 2 weeks for something that I know I can do in 10 days, because 2 weeks on the internet is like a million years. Okay. Like things move fast on the internet. And so that's where my business is located. That's why I love the internet. And so that is something you're going to have to balance. So if you are new and or not new, but you're like, no, I just want to get this thing out there, it may be worth it to do most of the things. Keep in mind, I wasn't using AI at this time in my life. If I had AI, maybe I wouldn't have had to hire two different editors, and maybe I would have just used AI and it could have been faster. So there's something else to consider, but it's hiring a whole bunch of people isn't always the solution, because especially if you are fast moving like me, because sometimes it will slow you down. Let me know in the comments if patience is something that you desire, or if impatience is your superpower. If you love speed, if you are a rocket, let me know. And I'll also pin all the courses that I mentioned and my books, and go write that book. If that's your desire, go write that book, and girl, do it fast. Okay? I'll see you in the next one.